Isaac, can you take us through your decision to come here?
Um, it really came down to Coach Golding's defense, and then also Coach Joyner. And when I came on my visit, it was like the second week of May, I think. And I sat down with Coach Golding, I sat down with Coach Joyner, and the way they talked about how it would be used in the defense and the type of defense that Coach Golding was bringing over from Alabama, I just thought it would be able to showcase my versatility and the different things I can do, like playing standing up, hand in the dirt, things like that, dropping into coverage, rushing the passer. And the past success that Coach Kiffin has had here and showed that he's been able to sustain is something I was really interested in. I wanted to go to a school where I have a chance to play, but then also have a chance to win another ring. So, yeah.
Obviously working closely with Cedric, just kind of what is it getting to work behind somebody who was here last year? I know the defense has changed, but what's Cedric been able to kind of do to help you these couple weeks?
It's just always good to have someone to compete with, bounce ideas off of, try out different moves. Like he's teaching me moves, I'm teaching him moves, things like that. Having another player of that caliber playing alongside you is gonna keep making us go up and up and up, competing with one another and getting better. So yeah.
Felt like Saturday, watching a scrimmage, the defensive line had a really good day. Whoever
Mhm.
was out there, just what was kind of y'all's mood watching that film, and kind of what I guess when y'all got back Monday to practice, what was the mood?
When we watched the film from the scrimmage, we had a real critical eye to it. We weren't getting too high on ourselves because obviously it was just a scrimmage. We're playing against people who we've been playing against this entire time. So, we know their moves, we know everything they're going to be doing. So we can't get too much on our high horse from playing well in the scrimmage because we're going to be playing against guys that we haven't played against once the season comes. So we acknowledge the good things that we did, but we were really more critical of how we could have been better and done different things better. So, yeah.
Last time we were here, we were talking to Josh Harris, and he alluded to what Randall Joyner has often, coined and referred to as, standard and all that sort of stuff. If you wouldn't mind just kind of elaborating on that.
So the standard is basically it's the floor. Like that's the least that you can give in terms of your effort, in terms of your attention to detail, and making sure that you stick to that standard, and most times exceed the standard. The standard is the floor, but we never want to stay at the floor. We want to get to the ceiling. So that's really what it's about, just having that mentality of not being okay with where you are, but always striving to be higher and higher. So that's really what the standard is about.
We've talked a lot about player culture and how the team's doing with all the transfers. How do you feel that the mental health certification all the coaches went through helps with that?
I think it's big because so I've been in college for a while, so, and I've been coming up with the social media and the mental health and how that's been a big issue in the real world as well as in the athletic space. But like, I feel like them taking the time to learn and to get integrated into how that can affect athletes and how they can better help athletes. I think that's really big because the days of just sucking it up and not acknowledging things, those days are behind us. And just because you acknowledge something doesn't make you weak. It just means that you're taking the initiative of getting over that hump and getting over that setback and using that to make yourself a better person, a better player, and not letting it hold you back. So I feel like there's no weakness in acknowledging mental health and its effect on us.
Do you feel like it boosts your confidence as a player? And if so, how will that translate to how you play?
Yeah, definitely for sure. Because I feel like the more comfortable you are with your coaches and being open with your coaches, the better a player that you can be, knowing that you trust that they're always going to have your back and always be looking out for your best interests. So it definitely helps.
In your previous seasons playing college football, who kind of is Isaac Ukwu and who is he now?
Um, I would say like every year playing college football, I've just matured more and more. Obviously, not only in age, but in my mindset and the way I attack things, more of a business-like approach, trying to get things done when they're supposed to be done, and taking everything seriously. When I was younger, I used to joke around a lot, always think I had time, always think I had this and that. But as you get older and you realize you gain more of a sense of urgency, like this football stuff can end at any time. So I'm taking it one day at a time and attacking every day so I can keep getting better and better. And I feel like that mindset has carried me to where I am now, being able to play in the SEC.
How would you kind of describe your play on the field to people who haven't seen you play before?
I would say I play a physical brand of football. That's really where I make most of my plays with my physicality, and then off of that, a changeup it would be some of my finesse type of plays. But I feel like I like to dominate physically and get to the quarterback, stop the run and all that stuff. I feel like that's my main tool when it comes to rushing the passer and playing the run and stuff. My physicality. All right, thanks, y'all.